Hi everyone, a very good morning to you. Today we have with us Pragya Batra from Quirksmith. Pragya, hi, welcome to the
Hi,
Sessions platform. So lovely to have you here with us today.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Pragya. So just for the audience to quickly introduce to you Pragya Batra. Pragya started Quirksmith in 2016 with her sister Divya Batra. Before Quirksmith, she worked for 8 years in strategy and consulting with Bain and Company, and for a brief while in Mobi. She graduated from IIT Delhi with BTech, MTech in biochemical engineering, and she went to the school at INSEAD, Singapore, France in 2011-12. Over the last 5 years, Pragya and Divya have built Quirksmith into a brand that is loved by many. She's on a mission to bring more women into the workforce. And today, 60% staff is women in Quirksmith, where the traditionally jewelry sector has been largely occupied by men. So at least in the production and the making. So Pragya, I think you've come a long way, and would love to hear about your personal journey, and from corporate to, so yeah, of course, from engineering to the MBA, and then the corporate exposure, and then of course you started off on your own. So what really took you to take that plunge?
Hi, Rajpreet. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on this platform. I've gone through the work that Sages has been doing, and it's really inspiring to see a safe space being created where women can truly own their skills and learn a lot more from each other. So, thank you for considering me for this. Um, Quirksmith, we started Quirksmith in 2016, like you mentioned. It was a pretty informed decision on some levels. I think by the time we jumped into it, I was fairly comfortable making that call because Divya and I had tried Quirksmith as a weekend passion project through flea markets. We used to set up stalls almost every other month in Bangalore for almost a year before we formally started. And that experience, gave us the courage that there is a lot of room to grow and reach out to a lot of people. And we felt that the physical pop-up model would only take us so far, so it was important to set up our own website and get online, which needed significant effort, which is why I quit my corporate career in 2016 to kind of give it my 100% shot. um, I think at the time, like for most of us jumping into entrepreneurship, the first question that comes to mind is the financial stability. Because we're used to the check coming in our bank every month, and it takes a little bit of courage to get out of that. But I think what really eased me into the process was a having tested it out to know that there was a market, and b I did a very simple math, back of the envelope math, that if I did not have to quit this, what is the minimum number of orders I had to get every month to just sustain myself. Obviously not compare it to my corporate salary at the time, but just to be able to sustain myself financially. What is the minimum that I have to sell every month? Because that time I was a single member team. Divya was still kind of designing over her weekends. And that math, actually, when you do it, wasn't a big number. And it gave me the confidence that, even if I leave everything today and start doing two flea markets every month, or two to three flea markets every month, and go around the country in the metro to the metro cities, um, I would continue to make a living for myself and sustain myself. And that I knew was just the start. Things were only going to get better from there because we were moving on to more scalable methods, coming online, starting marketing. So I think that simple math initially kind of gave me the courage to jump. And I think that's something we also continue to hold as our mindset, growth mindset. We give ourselves short term, more achievable goals, uh, you know, instead of putting the pressure of becoming this multi million dollar brand. it's important to realize that it's a slow journey and it has to be done right. So we try and give ourselves, much smaller achievable targets, short term targets, and work towards those.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you spoke about many things, and being an entrepreneur myself, I could relate a lot to it, Pragya. Especially, from I would say taking that courage, having the courage to really try into this, enter into something where that the constant source of income will not be there, may not be there.
Yeah.
To doing that back of the envelope calculations that you spoke about, I think you were very clear. And I could also relate to the flea market setups because I've done it for my mother's company, and I've done
Okay.
it myself. So earlier on while working. So I think, I know, what it really takes. And I'm sure a lot of listeners, listening and tuning in today to our channel would be able to relate to it. So thanks for sharing that, Pragya. So, Pragya, what were some of the challenges that you faced during this journey, and how did you really overcome those? If you would like to share any, and also you can talk about your early wins and things that really told you that you're on the right path.
Yeah, got it. Um, um, I think early wins and a really rewarding experience was the decision to go online and set up our own brand. Often I don't come from a tech background per se. Like I hadn't studied coding as part of my learning, and I had never worked in the space. So, and I see this barrier to most entrepreneurs even today, where we feel like, tech is this black hole that I will never understand. Uh, and I think crossing that barrier was a huge game changer for me in that sense, because when we started building the website, I took my own sweet time, 3 to 4 months, to build it on Shopify. And, just kind of not fear the fact that I did not know this. Um, and what I eventually realized was there was actually a lot of support. Shopify is built to help entrepreneurs like me get online faster. So it doesn't really require any tech understanding. The support system, the developer ecosystem is so strong that any problem you have as an entrepreneur, know that it has been solved across the world multiple times. So all you have to do is do a Google search at Shopify and you will find a solution to your problem. Uh, so I think those experiences really kind of helped build the courage that was needed to go online and set up a business in a zone that I didn't know much about. Um, and the joy of getting your first few sales the moment you start a website and start marketing, I think was unprecedented. My parents are also involved in the business to some extent, and my dad has run traditional business all his life, where you have to go in the morning and come out in the evening, run a sales outlet. um, from that to him sitting at home and experiencing the joy of getting an order while you're having your lunch or having dinner was, I think, quite priceless for me personally. um, so those are the ones that I define as win early on. The experience of starting our own business and bootstrapping it all the way. Challenges, I think challenges I can go on. There are plenty. The only thing I want probably to anyone who's considering entrepreneurship is, um, you know, um, like, and especially for a business like mine, where and or any e-commerce brand for that matter, like I think know that everyone is going through the same problems, and finding an ecosystem really helps. um, uh, Finding an ecosystem of fellow entrepreneurs to bounce off ideas, and most of all to just ask for help, and that is something I had to unlearn, because uh, I guess in the corporate world, until the time at least I was working, and uh, you know I did not ask for so much help when I was in the corporate world. I felt like it was my job to figure things out and just I was there to solve problems. So asking for help meant that I did not know. And I had to really unlearn that process and start asking for a lot of help when I got onto the entrepreneurship journey. And it has been extremely rewarding. I think that idea of letting go, that you will have all the answers if you are at the helm of things, really helped kind of get to get to a certain level of peace and calm and just reach out to people. I hope that answers your
Yeah, of
question.
course, that's lovely, and lovely to hear about the journey and all the priceless moments that you had with family. Uh, and I mean, really amazing to hear that. So, Pragya, what really kept you going? Like the early wins that you got, or was it the sales, or the pure joy and satisfaction, and or was there anything deeper than that?
Yeah, I think multiple things. I think the most important thing is early on, it's important to define what success means to you. Uh, and I think Divya and I, we're also sisters, we're very close. Uh, so early on, we defined what would success mean to us. And you know and we continue to chase those metrics of success. Some of those are having a life that we can control, uh, impacting as many people as we can, um, and bringing more women into the workforce. So those are kind of the few metrics of success that we still kind of hold ourselves accountable to, and that kind of stays the north star. And also being like, almost like a cult brand when it comes to design, and we try and stay honest to those few metrics, um, and kind of try to work towards them. Growth and everything else then kind of becomes an offshoot of doing those, trying to achieve those larger objectives. And it's extremely satisfying as well.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. So, Pragya, you've hired a huge workforce of women, and you're skilling them. So, do you also upskill them and train them, or how does it work? And what's your mission on that?
Yeah, so I think over the last 5 years, we've had first and hand experience of hiring women from various backgrounds and seeing the impact that financial independence brings to their life, the authority that they start to bring within their households, which are traditionally controlled by, spouses and fathers, the men in the family. It gives them a voice. And I think uh, and it gives them a huge amount of confidence as well. So we tasted the joy of being able to do that early on, which is why we made it our mission to hire more and more women and impart them the skills. From a training angle, the work, a lot of the work for which we need people, um, uh, uh, we obviously hire people with no experience, for most part, and then we train them into various roles. It usually starts with the simpler roles like packaging and shipping, dispatches, and then as some of these people show the ability to grow into bigger roles, we train them into other roles. So for example, one of our oldest employees, our first employee, she started with the role of packaging, and over the last 5 years she's now grown into becoming the production manager, and she manages a team of 6 to 7 karigars who work with her producing new designs every day. She's learned Excel and basic kind of number crunching as a result. Being able to keep basic accounts for the vendors that she works with. So it's a more organic process, depending on what skills is a person good at. In the past, we've had a person we hired for customer support, but she seemed really good in terms of being this operational, lioness, who could just take control of shipping and keep everything in order. So we kind of moved her into that role and trained her into that role. It's more organic.
Very interesting. So, Pragya, tell us something more about Quirksmith and your latest jewelry line, and what are some of the milestones that you have, in future.
Sure. I think our short term milestone, very short term actually. 2 years back, Divya and I had this dream to have a creative design studio where we could collaborate, not just for Quirksmith, but for other creative collaborations as well, be it, open mics in the evening, poetry is something that is close to our hearts. Music is something that is really close to our hearts. So we wanted to create a space that becomes not just our design studio, but also a space to collaborate with other artists. And I'm really proud that we're now barely a few weeks away from moving into our new space. We're really putting all our hearts and creative juices into it. So I'm really looking forward to kind of share that with everyone who loves the brand. We'll probably launch it sometime around March this year. So that's a huge milestone. It's taking up most of my uh,
Wow.
energy today. In
Many
terms of,
congratulations for that.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It
It's in
really,
Bangalore?
yes, yes,
Okay. So all viewers from Bangalore should definitely visit.
yeah.
Nice to hear about it. Many congratulations once
Thank
again.
you so much, Rajpreet. And yeah, in terms of other milestones in, say, the next 1 to 2 year horizon, is to uh, also kind of we have a lot of ideas on this front, but to, the point I made earlier, to be a brand that is synonymous with design. Like when you think of design and people who are at the helm of creativity when it comes to wearable designs, they think of Quirksmith. And from that lens, we are doing a lot of work in the back end with Divya to kind of launch into that path. Um, and I think the third thing is also how to use uh, our privileges, so to say, in order to uh, create an impact towards causes that we are passionate about. Uh, One thing that we directly control is obviously hiring more women, which we stay true to, and we'll continue to bring in a lot more women into the workforce and give them the tools to succeed and get the confidence they need. Uh, but the other second order impact that we want to create is to kind of start reinvesting, some of the profits back to in kind of supporting um, the the social causes that we care about. It could mean working with an organization that imparts entrepreneurship skills to women in villages. And I mean, it could lead from there, but I'm just sharing some of my initial thoughts.
Sure,
And
sure,
hopefully this year we'll start uh, on that journey in a couple of
sure.
months.
Sure, you can let us know if you have hiring requirements from our community also of women.
Oh, great! I would love that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely
So,
take that.
there are a lot of women who want to return back to work. And
Okay.
so, I'll definitely touch base with you if you have any requirements. I'm happy to bounce off the community. I think some women may just put their hands up to join and understand.
Great.
And I think, Pragya, thanks, for coming on our platform today and sharing with us a very inspiring success story. And I'm sure that, people listening in will be able to relate to your journey. And, I wish all the luck to Quirksmith and to you and Divya to
Thank you.
continue to make it big. And all the best for your March opening. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rajpreet. It's really kind. I've really enjoyed being here, and I'm obviously going to stay touch, uh, uh, you know, for hiring and other things. I'm really excited to be on the platform and really looking to learn from all the wonderful people you have on board. There are a few things that I want to learn and grow into, and I've already kind of signed up on the app. So
So
looking
thank
forward
you.
to it.
Thank you. Let's say cheese to that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You take care. Bye.